Did you ever had a feeling that you don't fit in? Did you ever felt like you are somehow different and that all the friends that are around you or people that are surrounding you are somehow different? This is something that we experience a lot of times, and today I'm connecting with you to talk about a very common and very important subject that maybe not many people speak about. What if we feel like we don't fit in? And hopefully this will be nourishing, and hopefully it will open up some new dimensions, or maybe even give you some kind of comfort knowing that it's nothing wrong with you and that it's completely curable, so-called. So welcome for all of you who are joining us either live or from the replay. Today, very usual time connecting with you on Thursday, as we had I was actually recording this video once before, but we had some audio difficulties. So if you can give me a thumbs up that all is running well and that you can hear me well, that would be very useful. I will start introducing myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Lucia Hoxa, and I'm a lifestyle coach supporting women all over the world in all that matters to them. I do this very passionately with lots of love, because I do believe that we all deserve the best life possible. Not one day, someday, but now. Because what matters is really now, is not what happened in the past or what was our starting point, is not what might happen in the future and our worries and concerns. It is about, I believe, it is about clearing up everything what is holding us from the past that we might not even realize that is there, and really creating this clear space where we are able to create the future that we really want. So that's so much for introduction, and now we are just going to talk about our subject. And you know, if you have anything to add, I will be very grateful. Anything to comment, anything to maybe ask or contribute, I will be very happy, because I'm very excited when this is interactive. And I always, you know, guys, I always challenge you. And if it's something that you don't feel like sharing publicly or in the comments here, you're very welcome to send me a message, personal message, and I will be very happy to respond. So our subject today is what do you feel when what to do when you feel that you don't fit in. And I would like to start with something that hopefully will make a lot of sense. A lot of times, you know, we are all different. We are extroverts, introverts, and we have a different preferences, maybe even in a different days when we are in a different mood. Sometimes even extroverts, like a lot of people think I'm an extrovert, actually, you know, I am also a lot of an introvert, and it really depends on my mood. Sometimes I feel like I just want to be out there, like with people, and embrace all the goodness that interactions with people give me. But sometimes I feel completely happy and nourished, and actually there is a lot of healing that is happening when we as women, we are alone, when we create that nurturing alone quality time with ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, you know, whether you're extrovert or introvert, we are kind of always a bit of both. I don't know anyone who would like to be out there all the time, or anyone who would like to be just alone all the time. There might be things that are standing in a way, and we are going to talk a little bit more about that as well later on. So what to do when we feel like we don't fit in? First thing I want to say is that it's very natural that our friends are changing. Yeah, so sometimes we feel like, oh my god, you know, like I'm doing actually some exercise on myself, and I looked back on my, I call it originating circle from 5 years ago. Those people who've been in my life 5 years ago, a lot of them are very different people that I have in my life on regular basis. I'm talking about now. So in case you feel like, you know, you don't have a best friend who's been your best friend for 25 years, it's okay, because what happens is that we move the countries, we move the places. Very few of us live in the same place for the rest of our lives. Life is much more dynamic than it used to be. And with that and we become mothers, and then cycle of friends changes, the priorities and so-called, then we are growing also individually as a people. So it's very normal, very natural that we are kind of filtering our friends because of that as well. A lot of times our development growth, and I'm talking about personal development, is automatically filtering the kind of friends that we still want to have in our lives and spend time with, and also is filtering the way we view life. And so we start attracting maybe new people who are more of energy exchange suitable for us, and where it's happening more organically. So it's very, very natural to change friends and to have a new friends every certain amount of time, and it's normal and it's okay. It's natural that sometimes we just drift off. So that's kind of my first point, where you are at in terms of your friends. It's not about how many we have, it's not about likes on a Facebook, it is about those intimate, beautiful, free interactions that we have with a certain people in our lives. And let's face it, relationships is a huge chapter of our lives, and it really, really matters. And really, they say who we are surrounded with, especially on a regular basis, a lot of times at work as well, and friends and family, of course. We are being shaped by these people, whether we like it or not, even subconsciously. Their opinions, our interactions with them, they are mirroring us all the time as well. That's completely another chapter. Yeah, they are showing us the mirror and reflection of who we really are. Yeah, I have lots to tell about that, but maybe separate subject. Yeah, so your friends are changing, and it's completely fine. Second point I have here is that maybe if you feel like you don't fit in, maybe it's not your tribe, maybe it's not your kind of people. Yeah, I remember when I came to UK, and I was like 18, 19 years old, and I was just trying to find my way around. And I remember I was trying so hard to fit in. I was trying to be like them, and a lot of people in UK, in my environment that time, they used to go in a pub and drink a beer. I never been a beer drinker. I never used to thrive in a pub environment talking about small talk of some sort. So I really, really didn't feel I don't fit in, and I really, really tried hard to fit in. But then I realized it just simply wasn't my tribe. And later on, I think year into my stay in UK, I went for audition, and I started playing in theatre. I went back to my passions, and there I found actually a friend who is still this day my very, very loving friend. Maybe she will be listening in some point, Lisa, who is my dear friend, and because that was my passion, that was my tribe. We created some wonderful musicals, and we had a lot of fun, and we danced and we sung, and it was my tribe, and I felt like belong. So in case you feel like you don't fit in, have a look. Maybe it's not your tribe. Maybe you are just trying too hard fit in somewhere where you and who you really are is not being appreciated. Okay? Appreciated, I wanted to say. Okay, another thing is that maybe if you feel like you don't fit in, this is not environment for you, like appropriate environment for you. I know some of my clients have challenges that being in a big groups of people, like on a big concerts, or where it's really loud, because they prefer like one-to-one, really intimate, honest warm conversations rather than, or even like small groups of people, rather than these huge gatherings where they don't feel comfortable. So, have a look. And again, it's so healthy to know ourselves. And personal development is fantastic just for that it's connecting those dots about who you really are, not who you've been programmed to be by, I don't know, your family or your background. Of course, that's got impact as well, but who you really, really are in your core, because the answer to that is going to give you a lot of peace and a lot of confidence as well, because then you will know, okay, well, I prefer this, and because I don't feel comfortable in this situation or in this environment, it's nothing wrong with me. It's just I prefer something else, and I thrive in different setting. Okay, so that was my point number 3. Guys, let me know if it's opening up something for you. I would love this not to be a monologue, especially when I'm on the camera without Martina or without someone buddying me. Let me know if you want to buddy me. Be my buddy on a camera. I would love that. It's kind of lonely when I do it this way, so talk to me, guys. My third point is that very, very important. Maybe you're not opening up, and here is a cornerstone of a lot of I would say hardships in situations where we don't fit in. We often wait for other people to come to us, to comfort us, to make us welcomed. And sometimes it happens, and that's great. But sometimes it is important for us to, put something in. And not only, saying hello, of course that helps, and having that small talk at the beginning just to kind of warm up, but also to open up. And I'm not talking about, now you need to talk to a stranger about your deepest, I don't know, sexual desires. That's not what I talk about. But opening up is, really allowing yourself to be who you are, without pretense. And a lot of times, guys, and hands up, I used to be very uncomfortable within myself in terms of how I feel, in terms of, different situations. I was like, how is called that animal that changing colors, little lizard thing, chameleon. Yeah, and of course you adjust your way of speaking and maybe even language, the different kind of people you talk, but really in your core it's so important to be completely free, knowing that the way we are, well, first of all, knowing who we are, which is a big question, right? Like sometimes even whole life doesn't answer that, but at least being on a quest of who I am, who am I, what are my values, what is important to me in life, what do I prefer? Very important. So first of all, answering that question, and then you will be able to be more okay with who you are. And of course that goes with peace of mind and confidence as well, because when you appear in these situations, you will be able to open up freely without that little gremlin saying, oh, they will be judging me, oh, I had this situation before and it didn't go well, oh, I had a disappointment with people in a past and they are horrible, they are awful, or it might come down even to the time when you've been a child and someone pointed finger on you and said, she is fat and ugly or something, so a lot of times social interactions are connected with our experiences from the past with people and our worries about being judged and being excluded in some kind of way, being out of the cycle. The really important thing to acknowledge is that as a human beings, we are pack animals. We are like elephants. We like to be together. I know it's sometimes challenging, and sometimes we don't want to be with people and we switch our phones off and cut everyone off, and that's okay and that's healthy for some time, right? But in general, we need that kind of interactions, not only to survive, to live, to earn money and to get by, but also for our social well-being, for us to be able to connect, to reflect. I mean, coronavirus was a great thing. First, in terms of this. A lot of us learned a lesson. For me, you know, it was first wave. It was like, oh, that's so nice, everything is quiet and dolphins are swimming in Venice and nature is getting rest, but mainly we are getting a break, everything slowed down. And I was thinking, this is what we need, thank God, you know, something good happening. And then second wave, that was very different. Did you sense that? That was like, oh, they're telling us we have to stay at home, we feel isolated, we started feeling lonely. And by the way, one of the reasons why I'm doing this streaming is not only that I asked one of you sent me a question and wanted me to stream about this, but I found this really appropriate, especially in this situation where we release the restrictions, and a lot of people are coming to me that they are feeling a lot of anxiety to going back into, you know, work environment, into daily life, because for almost 1 year we've been in this strange isolation thing. Yeah, so it's very, very common. Not many people talk about it, to feel a little bit of anxiety to go back to, you know, to being with people again, you know. So yeah, very important to open up, because what happens is when we open up and allow ourselves to be who we are, and I'm talking about not just talking about weather, but talking about what matters to us, you know, what we, but even like what we had for lunch, what we like, what we don't like, what are the plans. It encourages other people to have a similar kind of confidence to open up as well, you know, because a lot of people walking like these little shelves, you know, trying to guard and protect ourselves because we don't want to be hurt. And the thing about being included, like the fact that we are packed animals, well, in the past, in the history, we know that long time ago, that the greatest punishment in a Roman Empire, for example, was not execution, it was exclusion beyond the borders of the, you know, of the tribe, of the society. Because once you are out there without being able to connect with people, to, you know, if we go even further, you know, if men, for example, didn't have a friend to hunt the mammoth with, he knew he's not going to kill the mammoth by himself, or even smaller animal. So those interaction and mutual help, same for women who've been collecting the fruits and looking after children and, you know, keeping safe while the man been out there hunting. We need each other, and this is so important to acknowledge that we need each other, and for us to be able to thrive together, which I believe is absolutely possible. We need to we want to find the way how to do that, how we can be with one another without feeling competition, without, you know, in opposite, like to support each other and find a way how we can thrive together. You know, lots to say about that one, but I will pause here maybe for another subject, for another life. My next point is here that a lot of times what stops us to being comfortable, or even makes us feel like we are excluded from environment, is that we are actually so worried about what other people say about us. And I have a really, really nice, hopefully helpful thing to say, which is actually quite funny, but it's so true. I want you to consider that at least as much as you are worried about what other people think, they are far too busy being worried about what you think about them, that they don't actually have so much time to think about you and whatever you are doing and judging you. Does that make sense? And this is a really funny thing, because so many times we are concerned like what other people think, and, you know, am I looking good, and, you know, am I too fat, am I standing well, do I look confident? I don't know, you know, but actually everybody's got this, and people are far too busy trying to look good. We're all trying to look good, yeah? So people are far too busy trying to look good themselves, not to be judged. So this is very freeing thing to do. Actually, people don't have that much time to judge you or to look at you, and even if they do, it's very, very brief. And by the way, we are human beings. I judge, you judge. Maybe the only difference between people who are a little bit more aware is that we are aware that we are judging all the time. And that's actually human nature. We compare ourselves, right? You know, she's got a better hair and she's got a slimmer waist, and it's normal. It's actually healthy to a certain degree. Yeah, there is a borderline, of course. Anyway, so don't worry too much, please, about being judged. Next thing is that you are often in your own head in these social interactions. And when we are in our own head, what happens is that we are not really paying attention to our surrounding. You know, we are so, again, concerned about, oh, this is awkward, maybe I should go. If you've ever been on a networking evening where, you know, people exchange their business cards and they're supposed to talk about their business and so on. Yeah, I've been on few, and quite few, and there is some of them, well, many of them, there's such a tense atmosphere because there is a feeling that everybody is trying to sell something and everybody is trying to buy and everybody is trying to look so good, because it's not only about looking good, it's about making money there. Something is in stake. So you know what I'm saying? Very important not to be in your own head. Get out there. I call it, get on a court with people. And what I mean by that, very, very important thing. If you don't feel so comfortable talking about yourself, ask people. Ask questions to people. Anything, like break the conversation, whether it's, you know, giving a compliment on their shoes or starting the conversation. Ask people about their life, about interesting things. Genuinely ask. Genuinely be curious about another human being. People love talking about themselves. A lot of times they're not even being listened to. That's another thing. When you ask questions, do listen to people. You know, sometimes, and a lot of times happen in a conversation that, you know, someone is saying something and in our head we already have something that preparing something that we are going to respond, some kind of story that reminds us their story. So we already kind of thinking about what we are going to say, but we are not, because we are already planning, we are not being in a present moment and we are not being fully listening to this person, and you can feel it. Okay, so practicing active listening is very, very powerful thing, and that alone is creating amazing connections between people. Like one of my clients the other day said, Lucia, how do you do it? You remember all of us, like our stories and, you know, what we do and when we do and you know, our life, our past, because of this 12-week program. So, you know, there's a lot that's being said, and I say, I just do, and I don't take notes. I just listen to you, like, really profoundly, and it's just being stored in there somewhere. And of course, I probably don't remember absolutely everything, but the main things that matters is always there, and it's like being engraved. And that's because of active listening. That's because I'm in love with my clients, because I am in that deep form of listening. That's how this is possible. Okay, so get out of your head. Another thing is, what I have here, I wrote a little notes for you, is that maybe you don't own your uniqueness, and this is very much connected with getting to know yourself. You know, we all have something a little awkward about us. Like anything, and mostly is not just one thing. You know, if we all open up about all the weird things about us, we would laugh our heads off. I just really wish this happens in some kind of gathering, because it's such a wonderful thing to open up about our weirdnesses. And I mean, I've got a monkey finger like this. I actually cut it off when I was 18. It's a funny story. Not so funny at the time, of course, but you know, it's okay. It's my finger and I love it. It's probably my favorite finger now. And of course, I've got a lot of other weird things about me. But important thing is that I don't hide. I don't hide him or anything else. And I own it. Yes, I feel very emotional sometimes. And they used to call me Cry Goddess. Yeah, because I was at the time healing a lot of stuff from the past, and it was my journey towards motherhood, and I was crying a lot. And first I was like assaulted, and I was really upset about being called that way. Now I own it. Now I'm proud that I'm kind of emotional person that allows everything to, all my feeling, allows myself to feel and to be real and to be honest, and even cry in front of 350 people like I did then. It's a great strength to be able to be on that level of vulnerability. So acknowledge and find your uniqueness, good and weird things, maybe even things that we would previously consider as a bad things. They are not actually bad. They are just unique to you, and maybe when you share about them you won't even be so unique, but you are unique, but you won't be alone. That's what I'm trying to say. So find your uniqueness, own it with pride, or at least with absolute acceptance, that yes, this is me. And when you feel that level of freedom about it, it's very attractive, and it attracts other people because they want to have that kind. No, that's confidence, not the outside thing. Is the inside thing that makes us truly strong and confident and attractive as well. There is a little bit of what I want to say. There are certain people who are really genuinely very, very shy. Like, I've got someone in my family who is very, very shy, and it's a character. To a certain degree you've got some genes. To a certain degree something might have happened in life that got you that way. And then of course it can be much more difficult to get those connections going. You can feel like much more excluded because you're very different. I don't know, you're not like normal kind of person. You are artistic. Many artists are actually introverts or scientists because they're so highly a lot of times gifted that social interactions is something where they don't have that natural gift in. So that but when it comes to the point when you feel, okay, this is really bothering me, like some people are genuinely happy to spend a life in solitude. Not many of them, but few, and that's completely fine. It's nothing wrong. Like yesterday I went to a restaurant, sun was shining, and I was enjoying the meal on my own, and it was bliss. There's nothing wrong with that, and I really enjoy doing that, by the way. But when it gets to the point when you feel lonely, when you are like suffering of that feeling that something is, I don't feel comfortable, I'm longing for some human interaction, for people. A lot of times mums on maternity leave got that feeling. Then maybe it's time to do something about it. And when you are so-called painfully shy, or you are on that scale of I was born this way and I really don't know how to get through to people, then it's maybe good idea to find a therapist or coach, because if you feel like you're really stuck in this area, then it's not doing good to your life, you're not feeling comfortable in that, please don't be alone. Like, find someone who can support you to get through this, because the chances are that might be something that happened in your past that is still causing that you are absolutely petrified to be in interaction with other people. Okay, but it's completely curable. It's completely you can get through this, and it can be easier than you think to break through this. Okay, Okay, next one is sometimes we even ignore what we want, and I'm talking about people pleasing. That thing that we have in our heads, like we should go there and we should go to that party, or we should stay for the drinks after work because everybody goes. I don't really feel like it, but I go because I should do it. So we are doing a lot of should things, and that's very important to acknowledge. Again, being connected with yourself, what my soul is really craving for, where I want to be now, who do I really want to spend the time with, not who I should be spending time with, but where do I thrive, where do I feel, who makes me laugh, where do I feel exchange of energy, yeah, what gives me energy, who to be with who. And I'm not saying like separate those people and ditch all those who takes away your energy, but it's a good exercise to acknowledge like what are your preferences and who are your kind of people and why. Yeah, very healthy to do. Next point is that sometimes we try too hard. And, I mentioned that earlier, maybe it's not your tribe. When you're trying too hard and things are not happening in general in life, trust me, maybe it's not your path. Things shouldn't be hard in life. I know it sounds strange to some, but if things are very, very hard, then fundamentally you are probably not being connected with your soul, and probably you are not on the right path either. Then another thing, extreme of things, if we are talking about extremes, is that you might not be trying enough. Maybe you are resigned. Maybe in your head people are awful and that's your reality, and there is nothing and no one can penetrate through this. Or you are just not trying enough because you don't have a time, or because you decided that this is not a priority for your life, but really you are longing for human interaction much more than, I don't know, pay rise or having a new car or something, nail varnish, shopping. Yeah, so trying too hard, not trying enough, like see where you are on this scale in terms of interacting with people and being in those social interactions which feed you, which feel like they're enriching your life on regular basis, that actually meeting with people is something to really looking forward to, that you are not having that feeling that you are alone in this big scary world. Very, very common also with people feeling or thinking this way. I actually had the experience of that as well in the past. I was talking about social anxiety. That's another level when we are completely, a lot of people are experiencing this now actually, or have been in past few weeks, that, especially after lockdowns, they are too scared to even leave the house. That's another level. Please don't be alone. Again, counselor or someone, therapist or life coach, someone you trust and believe in. But first of all, believe in yourself that this is not uncommon. I know several people who, not my friends, but people who I met during my journey, that have like genuine fear to leave the house because of various anxieties. So to wrap it all up, guys, we are social creatures, we are social animals, and as much as it's wonderful being and enjoying time on our own, it's also very important that we nourish and build relationships with each other. And fundamentally we are all very similar, and we all want very, very similar things deep inside, things like being acknowledged, being appreciated, being loved, being accepted. That's all that's actually what we really, really want underneath all those things that we think that we want on the outside. And being, feeling comfortable and at ease in social interactions, I think is very, very much connected with who we perceive ourselves to be. what we think about ourselves, what picture we have, because a lot of times the way we see ourselves is very different to how other people see us. I don't wake up in the morning thinking I'm a gift to humanity and I'm supporting thousands of people. No, I'm just a girl from a little almost village from somewhere in South Slovakia, So very, very important. How we perceive ourselves is very much reflecting on other people and how they interact with us and how they view us and how they communicate with us. And very important thing maybe to wrap it all up and finish with is that, very simply, when I simplify all of that, is that the more we courageously open our hearts, like really, and I say courageously because maybe what it takes is to take the layers of the walls down, those walls who we build to protect ourselves. Maybe more we open our hearts, the more we allow the love to come through. And that's a wonderful thing. So on that note, guys, I would like to also invite you this Saturday. I will put the details in the comments below this video. We are doing a social gathering. It's people from all over the world, phenomenal people like you and me, but very inspirational and very, very free in terms of judgment, or they are coming from all walks of life. It's going to be amazing space, and I'm very, very excited to be in it myself. And it's going to be gathering, and we are going to talk about things that matter in life. We are going to talk about our lives, and you don't have to talk. You can just come in, join in and listen. And if you do want to talk or do want to do some of the exercises and things that we do, great. It's going to be an amazing asset to your life, and things will open up. I dare to say that you are going to have a fun, you're going to meet some amazing people, and you are going to be definitely feel like it was a great contribution to your life. So guys, if you want to join us, it's going to be this Saturday. I will put the times and the link to join. It's free. It's you can anybody is welcome, and it's online, so you can really come and join from absolutely anywhere if you only create yourself a time for that. So guys, warm welcome to that one. Very pleased to be sharing that here as well. And for now, I am sending you lots of hugs, and acknowledge who you are and be who you are. Own it, and really allow the love to come through by opening up your heart.